It was that quick, and I think I've got it figured out. Do you have it figured out? Look at this. Well, I know the box is loose. Looks like a blue box that was been painted just a little bit on the edge. This wall's just been recently painted. And looks like this plug was installed with a cut-in box. And the top of the cut-in box is loose. I'm going to have to pull this plug apart. And I think I can fix that. And if I can do it, you can do it. It's not that hard. This is what I'm talking about here. This box is a cut-in box, just like this one here. And when you tighten up a cut-in box, you've got a screw here and one down here. And when you tighten it up, doink, this flap goes up in the back, and then when you tighten the screw, this pulls in from the back side. So this box has the same thing, and so what I think is happening is either this flap was too close up against the sheetrock. The sheetrock is 5/8, let's say, and if you only have that a 1/2 inch or a 1/16 less than 5/8, when you go to flip this up like that, you might think it's on the back side of the sheetrock, but maybe you've only got it up that high and it's not going in all the way, and you tighten this screw up all the way and you think it's tight and you don't know what else to do. It's because this flap is not on the back side. Now also that flap could have fallen off, and I don't know why it would fall off, but we're going to pull this apart and we're going to see what happens. You see there, that one flops up like that. You take that other screw at the bottom, and as you tighten it, do you see how it comes down? See there? This flops down like that. Then when you tighten up the screw, it pulls that and sucks it back in behind the box. And this cut-in box has little flanges that fit on the outside of the sheetrock wall. So that keeps this from being pushed into the wall, and the back flap keeps it sucked tight up against the back side of the wall. And that's how a cut-in box works. So when I look at that, I saw immediately it was a blue box, plastic box, and it looked like there's some flaps there. We'll pull this apart and get a little bit closer look. That's a dangerous proposition there. Now before you work on any box like this, make sure the power is turned off. And I've already done that. So I'm going to take this off here. Sure enough, it's a plastic cut-in box. See how the flaps are raised up on the edge and then they flop down there. And this box was installed, cut into the wall, and this plug was added. Okay, just like this here. So I may not have to pull this plug apart at all, because the Romex wire should be fished in there, and maybe I have enough slop to where I don't even have to pull this plug out of the actual box. I can loosen this. Well, first off, I just want to see if I can tighten this. You know what I mean? Think we can tighten that up? Let's try that first. And that could be all it was. That flap needs to be backed off a little bit and tightened up. We'll try it and see. Now see with that flap, if it's not all the way up, I want to loosen the screw a little bit so I make sure that that's pushed down all the way. Then I'll push the box in all the way and tighten the screw, and maybe that'll flap up like that. Okay, so before I do anything, first off, I want to make sure I can push this up tight to the wall, and I can. Then I'm going to back the screw off a little bit to the left. Lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. Do you remember that? Left is backing off the screw like I'm unscrewing it. And that'll take the flap and try to push it all the way down, if that flap's still on there. Okay, now it's tight. I'm going to keep pressure on here and start tightening this screw. And if that flap is still on there, this should suck this up before long. But you know what? Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening at all. Nothing. This one at the bottom, see, this one's snug. And I think that's fitting good there, but that's not happening. You know, how am I going to fix that? I'm going to have to pull this whole box out of the wall, I think, and see what's going on. So, like I say, I'm just going to try to remove this box without even unscrewing this plug. There's really no sense to unscrew that plug because the wire is just loose. It's not stapled up against the stud inside the wall or anything, because somebody added this later and they fished the Romex wire down from the ceiling and fished it down. So there should be some slop in there, just kind of loose inside the wall. So I should be able to just pull the entire box out. Does that make sense? Let's try that and see what happens.